Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the concept of the Coase Theorem, which is extremely relevant for us to understand law, economics, and the society. Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the law Coase Theorem, which will help us understand the economic relationship between the law and the society. The law Coase Theorem is based on an essay written by Ronald Coase in 1960. The essay was on social cost, and it is one of the most important scholarly essay in the profession of economics. Richard Posner, an eminent legal scholar as well as an economic scholar also, has argued in his widely read textbook on law and economics that this essay written by Ronald Coase was extremely instrumental in launching an entire academic discipline which was based on law and economics, or a combination of law and economics. The application of the theories and empirical methods of economics to the legal system across the boards is something that was brought about by Ronald Coase's essay on social cost. According to Richard Posner, this Coase theorem established a framework for analyzing the assignment of property rights and liability in economic terms. This opened a vast field of legal doctrine to fruitful economic analysis. This essay was perhaps a key one in the revival of interest in the question of pollution and economics, as well as a crucially important contribution to a free market theory of property rights. Before we start discussing the Coase theorem in detail, let's discuss the relevant concepts which are extremely relevant for us to understand what is Coase theorem. The first such concept is externality. In the economic sense, an externality is cost imposed by an activity that is not accrued by the person or firm who engages in the activity. These externalities arise whenever the actions of one economic agent make another economic agent worse or better off. Yet the first agent neither bears the cost nor receives the benefits of doing so. For example, a steel plant that pollutes a river used for recreation. Now, in this case, if we are assuming the steel plant to be the first economic agent, then what is happening? It is an externality because the steel plant owner, or the one who's involved in production of steel in that plant, they do not have to think much about the cost of polluting the river. Now, in the previous slide, I had already mentioned how this Coase theorem really led to an a reinterest, or like heightened interest in the economic aspect of environmental degradation. So through this example, we can actually understand through this example of externality, we can actually understand how the environment degradation or the pollution of the river is actually something that is of concern for us. But traditionally, if we see, then it was never considered to be a part, or this problem was not considered while taking any decisions regarding the steel plant. So the next concept, or the sub concept in externality, is the negative production externality, which is when a firm's production reduces the well-being of others who are not compensated by the firm. And along with this, we have few more important concepts like private marginal cost, marginal damage, social marginal cost. Now, what is PMC, or private marginal cost? It is a direct cost to producers of producing an additional unit of a good. So it is like any other marginal concept in economics. So private marginal cost is talking about the direct cost of producing one additional unit of a good. The second is marginal damage. Again, a marginal concept over here. Any additional cost associated with the production of the good that are imposed on others, but that producers do not pay. Now, when we combine these like two, private marginal cost and the marginal damage, we get the social marginal cost. The private marginal cost to producers plus marginal damage. So, for example, if we talk about the same steel plant, The steel plant pollutes a river, but plant does not face any pollution regulation and hence is capable to ignore pollution when deciding how much to produce, as was mentioned earlier also. So now, when we're talking about the private marginal cost, what is it? It is the direct cost to produce an additional unit of good. So let's say one more ton of steel being produced, and the cost involved in that, that will be the private marginal cost for the steel plant producers. What will be the marginal damage? Any additional cost associated with the production of the good that are imposed on others but the producer do not pay. So of course, with one more ton of steel being produced, there will be certain polluting elements that will be released into the river, and that will be the marginal damage. And when we are talking about the social marginal cost, we have to take into consideration the private marginal cost, that how much the producers have to pay more, and the marginal damage for which the producers are not paying but somebody else is going to pay. We will discuss few more concepts